Alright guys, so let's discuss about domain name system, that is DNS, and let's brush up the concept of DNS. So DNS stands for domain name system, and that is one thing is very clear here guys, that whatever the theory I gave here, that is very important one, and I will try to make you understand with the help of some diagrams, so don't miss this whole video. So DNS also, you can say the numbers to be a more specific, it resolves domain name to IP address. So if you type in a web's address, or you can say the web browser, DNS will resolve the name to a number, because the only thing computers know are numbers. So let's say you have just, for example, in your daily basis, you are just typing google.com, right? So if you are just typing google.com, then how a computer can understand that you are typing google.com? So basically, it is, you can say it is a very typical, or it is very hard to understand for a human mind, or you can say uh, to remember all the IP addresses of different things, right? So what they do, they just create these things so that we can understand in alphabet numbers. So alphabetically we can understand like cyberseclive.com, google.com, microsoft.com, right? But there are specific IP. Computer knows, computer don't know these things. What is domain name system? What is DNS? It doesn't know anything about the alphabet, but it actually convert those things. Computer only know about the numbers, right? So those numbers the computers understand. Now what will happen? You are just typing google.com. There is some IP, maybe 8.8.8.8, right? So computer can understand that yeah, some person is searching for this, and it will directdirectly give you that IP, and google.com will be reloaded, right? So that's how it works. But we are going to the concept, and we are going in the background of DNS, that how, what it is exactly, what is TLD, what is root server, how many root servers are there, and how it actually works when you search for any of the example.com or your cyberseclive.com or any of the website. Okay, so let's take a domain www.cyberseclive.com, right? Now com, what is the com here? This one, that com is the first level domain or top level domain, TLD, which is known as TLD, right? So this com is TLD. Now Cybersec Live, this one, if you can see, Cybersec Live is the second level domain, and www is the third level domain. So if anybody asks you that how many level in DNS, then you can directly say there are three domains, three level domains. Each top level domain, that is TLD, is managed by a specific organization called a registry operator. Top level domains, TLDs, are divided in two types, right? So you might have seen that the generic one, that like example .com, .org, but there is country code top level domains, that is .uk, .in, right? UK, if you are living in some other places, that definitely it will be different, that like .el, IL for Italy, .au for Australia, .uk for United Kingdom, .in for India, right? So these are the two categories they have divided. That is, first one is .com and .org, which is very common, and second one is country wise. That UK is, represents the United Kingdom, and .in represents for India. Second level domain is the part that you register, which is used to provide online systems such as websites and, yeah, emails. So whatever you register, what you are registering, this cybersec live, right? So this domain, how you got these domains, the second level domain is the part of your register, wherever you register. I mean, let's say if I have registered my domain on the godaddy.com, I have registered my cyberseclive.com on Amazon, right? So it depends that how it that is also the part of registration, the second level domain, cybersec live, right? Okay, so now this is the actual structure of DNS, that how it actually works. So firstly is we have the root server, right? Root, under root we have org and com, that is a top level domain. And then Wikipedia, let's say, let's read it from here, www.wikipedia.org, right? So the org is top level domain, Wikipedia is second level domain, and www is the third level domain. Now here you can say www.cyberseclive.com. You can see the arrow which is going in that direction, www.cyberseclive.com. So .com is top level domain, Cyberseclive is the second level domain, and www is the third level domain. I hope this structure is very clear because it's going to be very helpful for you. Okay. The next thing we have, what happens when I type www.cyberseclive.com in my browser. Okay, so what will happen whenever I will, okay, at the highest level of the domain, the name system is the root zone, which we call, and it is managed by ICANN. ICANN, definitely, if you have heard about this thing, ICANN is responsible for DNS, and it is known as Internet Corporation for assigned names and numbers. So, okay, now this is one of the question which we have asked. What happens when I type www.cyberseclive.in in my browser? Okay, so I have just written www.cyberseclive.com into my browser, or you can say your browser. So the DNS server queries the root server. Now, whatever I have requested, that directly the query is directly going for the root server, right? For the information, the root zone only knows information about the zones they are responsible for, which is the top level domains. Root servers have the knowledge that that cyberseclive.com, uh, uh, what is the TLD for that cyberseclive.com. Then from the root server, yeah, they get to know that yeah, .com is related to TLD, and they mention there. So there are typically there are 13 root servers which have copies distributed around the world. The root server will refer the DNS server to the .com, right? So as I said, once you will just enter www.cyberseclive.com, it will directly go to for the root server, right? And it will refer to the DNS server to the .com TLD name server. The TLD name server knows information of all second level domains. Now TLD servers knows about the this one Cyberseclive. So it will refer for the second level domain, right? And name server, yeah. So the top level domain name server will refer us to the DNS server responsible for cyberseclive.com. The DNS server authority for example.com will give us the IP address for the www.cyberseclive.com, and the web's resources displayed. Now, working of DNS, that is very important, that how it actually works. I have already shown you a theoretical way. Let's understood with the help of this diagram. So whenever you request any of the domain, that is directly go for the root node, root server, right? So this is the root server. You have requested iana.org, www.iana.org. Now, root server don't know that, so it asks the org server, this server, the top level domains, right? The org servers. Now where is www.iana? Don't know, ask the iana.org server. Now here www is missing because that is the third level domain, but it is the second level, iana.org. org we already get to know from here, right? That is the org server, but org, under org server, it is telling that ask for to iana, and once he asks for the iana.org server, it get to know that yeah, this is your IP 192.0.2.0, right? So keep remember this thing, whatever the I have just tell the concept here, because in the next slide I'm going to show you something different. Okay, so now let's say what happen if that cybersec live you have already just I mean let's say first time you already have cyberseclive.com, and you are that IP for cyberseclive.com is already captured by your browser's cache, right? So what will happen? It will firstly, when the second or third time you will enter www.cyberseclive.com, it will ask for the browser's cache, not it will never go for the root server, right? If it will definitely search for the your caches whether it is present or not. So browser's cache will search for that web IP, and keep remember one thing guys, that Not every time it will go for the root server. I mean, definitely whatever the first time you will enter any of the domain, it will definitely go for the root server. But if the second time when you will enter, it will search for the cache, that whether it is present in that or not. So browser caches will search for that web IP. If not found, it will request to ISP, whatever the internet service provider. It if not found, it will request it to the root server, right? So now here you can say the root server. Okay, correct. Now after that, whatever we have followed in the previous slide, that is the same. I have just added this one. When you will enter after second or third time, maybe not the first time, right? When you will enter second times, third time, maybe, and so on. It will definitely check firstly in the your browser's cache, will search for that web IP whether it's present or not. Then if not found, it will directly ask to ISP. If not, then it will forward to the root server, and from root server we will get to know. I think I already have shown you in the previous slide. In this slide, I have already shown you that how it is working from root server, right? Okay, great. I hope that that concept is very clear. And if any doubt, you can just uh, you can ask any of the question regarding that. So that's it from our side, and I hope the concept is very clear. Thank you so much, guys. Bye bye. Take care.